Trundle top is one of the easiest pick in this game that even a hard-stuck silver player like me can pick him up in an instant and dominate games with it. You only have to kill the enemy top laner with auto attacks and some point and click abilities. As you can see, I was just one kill ahead. Just like this, push the wave under the enemy turret and right click it, and in just 15 seconds you manage to get 4 platings and the lane is won, even without a finished item. And with this special strategy and build, you can easily turn this lead into 15 league points. Some of you might wonder, why should I even play Trundle on the top lane when it is currently one of the strongest jungler in low elo? Well, you are absolutely right, but jungle can be a challenging role with a lot of tasks. It's far more than collecting kills and clearing camps, and additionally to that, tank Trundle falls of late game pretty hard. The strategy we are going to use on the lane is far more easier and can be abused during the late game. It's called split pushing, which basically consists of You are probably already familiar with it. You are going to create pressure by perma-pushing a side lane and force the enemy to split up since they need to react to your push. Most of the time they need more than one champion to stop you, so you create a number advantage for your team. When they don't react at all, well, they are going to lose a lot of stuff. So you are going to lose this, and this as well. But you need be careful when and how far you are going to push the wave. Otherwise you will find yourself, well, how can I say it, in an uncomfortable situation. But when this tactic is used correctly, you can annoy the whole enemy team in turn games. And Trundle is one of the easiest split pushers since he has a lot of possibilities to dominate the laning phase by just running the enemy down with slows and auto attacks. Even though the strategy is quite simple, there are a few important things you need to consider while abusing this pick. Here are the runes and build, and now I will show you how to dominate the top lane with Trundle. Already at level 1 you have a lot of kill pressure with his Q spell and most importantly the rune lethal tempo. Most enemies underestimate Trundle's damage at level 1 and will probably take the fight when you walk up towards them. But when you use your Q, you will deal some additional damage with your next auto attack, but you will also slow your opponent by 75% for a short duration. But this is enough to auto attack him and you will slowly see that you are going to win the trade, thanks to lethal tempo. By auto-attacking an enemy champion you will gain 1 stack which gives you 10 to 15% bonus attack speed, and it can stack up to 60% more. Most of the time when the enemy realizes that he is going to lose the trade, your Q spell is up again to slow your opponent, giving you enough time to catch up and finish them off, or force them to use their first summoner spell. That's why you should take Doran's Blade as your first item to maximize your damage output. At level 2 Trundle early game dominance won't fade away since he unlocks his W spell, where he basically creates an area where his movement speed and auto attack speed increase up to 20%. So running and auto attacking enemies to death gets even easier. The problem is that these buffs only appear when Trundle stays in the iced area, which fade away after 8 seconds. Just like the ice at the Arctic. Anyway, another disadvantage is that most top laners have some kind of disengaged spell to dash out of the area, and it ends up with a Trundle with 40 less mana in his pockets. Bruh. Luckily there is a way to prevent enemies escaping from your pathetic attack range. That's the sad truth when your damage only consists of auto attacks. Anyway, here I present the pillar, which can be placed from pretty far away and can block enemies from escaping or cancelling their dash. It even slows them by 20%, so you have another great tool to catch up so they can get more of your auto attacks. And when you are done with the trade and clear some minions, you even get a lot of HP back. But why? Simple, it's because of his passive, which heals him every time something dies near him, an enemy, a minion, or a jungle monster. So by just clearing the wave, you get a decent amount of HP back, which is a great tool that gives you more sustain, and really helpful when you have to play against a human being that literally thought, oh what a great day. I think I'm going to play Ash top. And when you die, use your W spell to get faster back to your lane. Nothing special, just a small hint I wanted to let you know. Oh, I almost forgot to mention another useful information. The secondary tree in your runes also contains something very important. There are 2 options. You can go demolish to destroy turrets even faster, or Trundle can take approach velocity, which gives you 7.5% more movement speed when you are running towards an enemy who is slowed. So it gets even easier to run these morons down. The far better option, since you are already dealing enough damage towards turrets, and getting rid of the top laner is far more important. And yeah, that's it with Trundle's simple kit. You just try to get near the enemy in order to auto-attack them to death, which works pretty well in low elo. Another helpful ability for silver games is to have an easy and good gank setup, which Trundle definitely has. With his Q spell, Trundle is able to slow the enemy, but even more powerful is his ice pillar, which can be spawned in a quite big area. But what exactly makes the pillar so great as a gank setup? Not only slows it all enemies standing next to it, but it can also knock back your opponent, creating an obstacle which forces him to walk around, costing even more HP when it is used correctly. Otherwise it turns into a tool that helps the enemy during their escape. So on the one hand you have a great tool to set up ganks. On the other hand you have a great spell to catch up when the jungler reaches the enemy first and you still have to run a few meters towards the battlefield. But it's Trundle, the gank setupper himself, safe from ganks. Obviously yes, he is a split pusher, which means he has some spells that can be used to run away like a coward. I meant tactical retreat. The W spell can be used to increase your movement speed in order to get away faster, and the E spell can be used to slow the enemy or blocking the gank path of them. And who would have thought? Even his passive can be useful when he gets ganked by the enemy jungler. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of CVK Explains Something. And here is your host, CVK. Today, how can you survive a tower dive as a Trundle? Well, it's simple. Just let the Echo use his ultimate and survive the ignite with your passive. That's it. And when you are lucky, you even get some money. By the way, all this stuff can also be used to run down range top laners. Trundle has a lot of stuff to prevent the enemy laner from escaping, but what if they manage to run away at the last second? In that case, you can use your summoner spell Igniter when you are already at level 6. Just use your point and click ultimate. Okay, what the heck just happened? Trundle Ultimate has the ability to drain the target's health based on their maximum HP for about 4 seconds, so you can compare it with a Fiddlesticks W, but it cannot be cancelled and it doesn't have a specific range. And additionally, it steals 40% armor and magic resist from your opponent for more than 8 seconds, so you can also use it during the combat, or let's name it brain dead punching battle. Most people will underestimate Trundle Ultimate since you can't see really a difference when it is casted or not. Additionally to that, it doesn't contain any dramatic visuals and doesn't sound that strong. So most people just stick around and won't realize that they are going to die, or that they are having a huge disadvantage while fighting because of the armor reduction. And Trundle can bonk a lot of times while fighting thanks to his W spell, Lethal Tempo, and his first item, Blade of the Ruined King, which gives Trundle 25% more attack speed. Additionally to that, it has a great passive that can slow the enemy by 25% and you gain the same amount as bonus movement speed for about 2 seconds, so running down enemies gets even more easier. As already told at the beginning, late game you are going to use the special tactic split pushing. The cool thing is that you don't need a minion wave because you are fast enough to destroy the tower before it can even destroy you. Trundle will lose some HP, but I wanted to go back to base anyway. And now I don't even have to wait for the recall animation. But enemies are not always willing to let you take over the tower without picking up a fight. Well, in that case, you just kill them. Trundle won't have any trouble fighting enemies on the side lane thanks to these items. Trinity Force gives you more damage when the fight keeps longer and is extremely strong in 1v1 fights, because of these stacks that can't expire thanks to Trundle's high attack speed. That's also the reason why these towers melt away. The other item gives you all these bonus buffs when there is no ally nearby, so when someone on your time is trying to join you, tell them to fuck off. So when you are alone on a side lane, it doesn't matter if a Evelynn, Karthus, or an Amumu attacks you. At the end, they will probably regret it. But when split pushing isn't your strength and you are more looking for a champ that dominates the laning phase and can one-shot champions late game by just auto-attacking, make sure to watch this video to get more information.